You're listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and Chris Meaney.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it's Chris Meaney, and this is the show where all we do is just call home runs and give you the contrarian pitchers of the night and make you cash. Because Chris Meaney, yesterday was another magical day. You turned, a 4-game parlay into a couple $1,000s. That's a good night for you. I didn't have quite as good of a night because, I'm not as money bags as you right now, but because I got kids. This is what happens when you're,
Yes, it's true.
when you're single like Chris Meaney. Well, not single, just, certainly not single. I mean, we're going to take that out. What are you doing to have kids? But again, Chris, I cashed again in the giant mega entry tournament with one lineup because I'm just a jerk and I like to do that. And this is now 4 in a row where I just keep cashing in these, where people are throwing 20, 30 lineups or whatever they're throwing, and I'm throwing the one and I'm beating them, and it's hilarious.
Let me guess, you had Alvarez at 2.5 on FanDuel.
I did,
Yeah.
and he went yard. Oh, we got it. Oh, another one. So chalk it up there, Dan O'Grady. Chalk it up on the big board.
Put it
Not
on the
only is,
board. Yes.
yeah. Not only was Jordan Alvarez cheap as hell on FanDuel yesterday, but I decided to go even further and make him my home run call. And wouldn't you know it, Chris? He did it. He did it. I was so proud. I was like a proud father. I was like Mr. Miyagi at the end of Karate Kid, just like looking just in approval of Alvarez. That's how happy I was.
Man, what a call. What a stud. We talked about, 100% ownership. I mean, it should have been across the board on FanDuel, just ridiculous. And, from a season-long standpoint, if you have them, I know if you've been following my work, I've been saying to push, trade rookies, see what you can get from them in redraft leagues with the hype. And a lot of them have really been disappointing, although we're seeing, Jimenez really get into a groove now. If you have him, I think you're going to love what you see in the second half. He hit another home run yesterday. But for Alvarez, I mean, when Houston gets at full health, Joe, when you get Altuve back, who's close, Springer and Correa, and even if Alvarez is going to hit in the DH spot 5 times a week in that lineup from the 5 or the 6, I mean, he's going to have an opportunity to drive in a lot of runs. He is a freak. He looks just built like a baseball player who's going to hit home runs in his career.
Seriously.
So, yeah, he looked, great start for him. It couldn't be any better. 2 games, 2 bombs.
Yeah, him, Austin Riley, just house of fire when they come up. Vlad Guerrero Jr., not so much, but
not so much.
Alvarez is a big boy, little ballpark. I love that combination. That is a good combination. I'm not sure who he reminds me of yet, but he's just, you're right. When they add in all those pieces back, Altuve, I think, is set for rehab soon, I think this weekend. So if that happens, that's very positive. But man, oh man, they're going to be loaded. And if they can add another pitcher to this rotation, which I think they're going to, look out. And I still say it's going to be Bumgarner because they got the tools to do it. They got the pieces to get it done. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about what we got right and wrong yesterday. Ariel Jurado, I was right. I was right. Last night was a night to make a stand. You took it with John Means. You were right. I took it with Jurado, and I was right. It felt good on a night where nothing seemed right with the top guys, where we kind of wow, there's Bauer and Castillo, and they'll be good, but I don't know if they'll be good enough. That ended up going extra innings. Corbin was the chalk of the night. He ended up kind of getting pwned in the first inning, and
grand
that
slam
was
right off the get-go.
Yeah. So all those guys that we took a stand on, if you played them, you got paid, and that's a thing, baby. That's what we want to do. We want to get you paid. And unfortunately, our Darwinson was not magical.
No,
for the Red Sox yesterday.
We knew he wouldn't be.
We knew he wouldn't be.
Yeah, we knew. We had some fun with that, but we knew
the balls went to the balls went Wingardium Leviosa. That's where they went.
Yeah, well, we talked about his walk rate, right? And I mean, he had 7 strikeouts in 3 innings. That's pretty impressive. But he walked 5 guys. Same thing with Trevor Bauer. Bauer again, he walked 5 guys. It is. It's a problem. He had 6K through 7, only gave up the 1 run. It's great, but I mean, he's walking guys left, right, and center. Oakland bats, in particular, this was why I was successful yesterday. We mentioned Oakland as a road dog. We mentioned taking them in the team implied total at 3.5, Arizona at 3.5. These teams are getting disrespected on the road. The 2 guys we've been talking about for value-wise, Olsen and Chris Davis, we easily could have picked them as home run calls, and they both went yard. You're right. Your order was good. Means was great. Hudson had some shares when I was like, I wanted to have more shares of Dakota Hudson because I was just afraid of the strikeouts. But I mean, he racked up 6 through 7, and that's positive. That's
doable.
that's
Another positive
really good.
takeaway
Yeah, yeah,
was our boy Lambert from Colorado,
that's
who
right.
pitched well in Colorado. So
That's
as well,
2
so
in a row for
yes.
him.
So now Mr. Lambert is big time on the radar.
He
Okay.
really is. Yeah.
He's big time. You go and you shut down the Cubs in
At home.
Colorado, you've got my attention now. So like you had it before, but now I feel good about going out there on a limb and using him. And I think, look, I mean, I'd like to take us to task on a lot of things, but I can't. I mean, we were pretty damn good. Like, I don't know what else. What did we screw up yesterday?
You know what? I don't know. It was a really we avoided the KC Detroit game. There were only 5 runs in that game. I mean, we tacked overs.
Jason Vargas got another win.
Jason Vargas got another W. Unbelievable what's going on with him. Yeah, I mean, we attacked overs
with 22 bombs.
He's so impressive at the plate. He's so impressive at the plate. He really is.
It's June 12th, and he's got 22 bombs. That is, I mean, he's right behind Yelich.
Yeah, got to give the Mets some credit for not caring about, service time or anything, bringing this kid up, knowing that he was ready to play, and he's looked phenomenal. Yeah, so, I mean, just attacking overs last night, Joe. I mean, we had 11 runs in Seattle and Minnesota, 2 teams that lead the league in home runs. Actually, they're tied each, 127 apiece. Houston, Milwaukee overs, Philly, and, Arizona overs. Buster only came up with a stat the other day. He said one team in 2013 had over 200 home runs, and that 22 were on pace for over 200 runs.
Whoa!
Isn't that unbelievable? That's a span of 5 years.
What?
The Twins had 80. The Twins had 80 home runs on the road last year. 80. They already have more on the road this season. You and I talked about how they were one of the most improved, if not the most improved team in baseball, aside from the love that the Phillies got. But up and down their lineup, they had just acquired home run hitters. And they already have more homers on the road this season than last year, and this is June 12th. Unbelievable.
That's madness. That's incredible. Holy cow!
It's nuts.
Wow. I'm speechless after that. Like I don't know if I can do the rest of the show now because that's unbelievable where we're at right now. And yet Major League Baseball has the balls to want to try to expand again. Are you nuts? Could you imagine what that would do to pitching and how it would water down even further? Forget it. It would be like Little League. Everyone would just pitch an inning. Yeah. It's like, Tommy, you want to go pitch an inning? Why don't you go get your glove? You go pitch, and then you can go, and we'll just go in a rotation. You play shortstop, and we'll let Jimmy play center field, and we'll just go back and forth. Yeah. And, Darwinson, you can go play left field.
Darwinson, yeah. Your control is a little spotty, so we're going to put you in left.
Yeah, just for today. All right, so that was yesterday. It was a good day. But today's Wednesday. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And we've got a lot to get to. And let's start with the fact that there's a day slate today, and the day slate has Colorado in it. So this is my favorite because I love isolated Colorado. It's my favorite. I hate when Colorado is involved in the main slate. It drives me crazy because of the variance. I never care for it. But this is a great spot because you've got the A's and Rays. You got the Reds in Cleveland. You've got, of course, the Colorado Rockies hosting the Cubs. Then you've got Texas and Boston. Those are the day games today. So you got 4 day games on the slate. For me, this is real easy. And I know when we have these isolated slates during the week, during the day, we like to keep it simple. For me, it's Plesac from Cleveland. He's been very good since he come up. He's at home. I feel very comfortable with him as my standalone pitcher on FanDuel. For a secondary pitcher, we can have that conversation in a second. But I'm going to go him. And I am taking, look, you got Cole Hamels going against Senzatella, so I'll take both ends of this one. I'm fine with that because I think Plesac allows you to get involved in that game pretty well. He's only 8-4. That's doable. If you really want to go down to like the bottom rung of stuff, it's kind of hard unless you want to go Brett Anderson or something like that.
I know. I thought about Brett Anderson at 5-6 on DK as a secondary guy. I may go there. I don't love Chirinos. I mean, he's 10-4 on DK. It's just too much. It won't allow you to get involved in Texas and Boston, Chicago, Colorado. They moved that Red Sox game up, a big game 7, happening tonight in Boston. They want everybody to be able to watch the Bruins potentially.
Yeah, a good job by them too. And Plesac is just 7-4 on DK. So
got to roll him. Yeah,
You got to roll him out there.
we've been talking about him and saying he's had our attention, and maybe we won't use him against tougher teams. I mean, he's played the Red Sox now. He had 5 innings against the Red Sox, only gave up the 1 run, and then his last outing against the Yankees, he had 7 strong innings, only gave up the 1 run, or 2 runs rather, 14 strikeouts, only 3 walks. We talked about his walk rate through the minors. I mean, this guy only walked a handful of guys and what it was a large sample size, so I can get on board with him. I thought about Cole Hamels as like maybe an interesting guy, contrarian option potential, but there's a lot of risk there. I think I would just go scrub pitchers.
Well, I
Not
mean,
saying that
I know this
Plesac
sounds
is a scrub,
crazy.
but
I never like to do this, but this is one of those rare moments where you can go with the 2 pitchers from the same game. I think
oh
Plesac and
yeah,
Desclafani, I think you could do that on DK and get away with it today just because of
sure.
the way it shakes out.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a really good call because out of all the games I'm looking at, those ones, and that's the one I want least exposure to from an offensive standpoint.
Right.
Cincinnati.
So, if this is going to be a 3-2 kind of game and both these guys can throw up quality starts, and Desclafani has some moments every now and then. He's not bereft of ability. He just doesn't have the kind of stuff that blow people away. So, that to me, again, not something that we would recommend. I don't think I've said it on the show all year. So if I do this twice a year, it's a lot. Here's my one. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's one. And it's because it's a 4-game day slate. I think that's the way you want to approach it. And you can play cash with it, and you could probably throw it into a tournament too if you want. But on DK, I think that's the way I'm going because I want all the exposure to Colorado during the day. I just think the ball's going to fly all over that place.
Yeah, listen, we have Tampa's lineup out already. I didn't think Austin Meadows was going to play in that lineup, and he is playing. So forget that. I was just looking. I was like, if he's not playing, maybe I'll get crazy with Brett Anderson. But I think you're on it with that strategy. Or you just go over and play on FanDuel, get Plesac in there, and then you roll the rest of the bats.
Yeah, and let me tell you, hardly anyone's going to do what I'm saying because typically speaking, So and that's exactly the kind of thing you throw into a tournament too. Yeah. And say, damn the torpedoes and see what happens. And I think I think that dog will hunt. I really do.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's get at it because there's going to be some more offense. And this is another one of these slates where you got this time it's the one big pitcher in Verlander tonight. And I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling lucky, Chris Meaney. Feeling good. So let's sorry. I'm not feeling lucky with these 2 jabronis though, because Edwin Jackson takes on David Hess. So I am going to have exposure, of course, because I love to troll Edwin Jackson. I can't believe he's still in the league. It's amazeballs to me that this guy is still pitching. And he's taking on David Hess. And I am all about exposure to Baltimore tonight. And that means Jonathan Villar, the top of the lineup at 3-1 on FanDuel. That is a great value. Yeah, he gives you speed, gives you a little pop. Also, Anthony Santander, just 2-4. Great lineup builder tonight on FanDuel. I love Santander in the 2-hole. I'm going to have shares of him. I think that's the way to go. Mancini, if you want to get involved with him too, that's fine. But really, it's the guys at the top I want to focus on because I think the value and return on investment is very good. And Villar's been hot lately.
Yeah, I like Villar a lot. They asked Blue Jays manager GM, actually Charlie Montoya. They asked him about Edwin Jackson if he was going to start again. And he said, yeah, he's going to start this week. And then one of the reporters said, why? He's like, well, we don't have anybody else.
Boy, that's not the biggest vote of confidence ever.
Right. How about your confidence just shot when you hear, I mean, it could go the other way. Maybe it has a little bit of spark, but there's no way. I mean, Joe, 19 innings, 36
He can get hit
hits.
by lightning and still not have a spark, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
Now, let me tell you, this Villar-Santander duo here, this is not a DK play tonight because Villar is 4-6 and Santander's 4-0. This is a FanDuel play. And it's a great one. It's a tremendous value tonight against Jackson. Moving forward, because I don't think there's nothing we like on the Jays, right? Even though it's Hess, I can't get behind it.
I know it's. I mean, honestly, as crazy as I am, I'm gonna do one Hess share. I'm gonna do one because the Jays, and that's it. This offense is not good. League worst average. They couldn't do anything yesterday. Listen, one out. This goes to show how bad the Jays are. He's allowed 20 home runs basically in every single start. He has an outing against the Jays this year in 6 scoreless, didn't even allow a hit against that team and had 8K. So I know that he can do that at a price on DraftKings where he's 4-1. I've never seen that before. I've neber seen a pitcher get to 4-4-1. Like that's a hitter's price. So I will just have one share at a tournament because look at what I can do with the rest. I can just have so much exposure. But yeah, I mean, it is a lot. It is risky. I'll say that.
All right. To me, there's 2 but 2 arms in play that aren't the top arms. And one of them is Zach Eflin. He's 8-5 on FanDuel tonight. He's taking on Merrill Kelly. He's at home. Merrill Kelly is 8 on DK. Eflin is 8.7 on DK. On FanDuel, Eflin just 8.5. So for me, this one's very much in play. Now, I know there's been some home runs in this series. I get it. And I know there's been a lot of offense, but you don't have a lot of places to go. There's not a lot of sanctuary tonight outside of Verlander. So you have to, again, take into consideration some things. And Eflin is a guy to take into consideration. Yeah, he's a little up and down sometimes. It's fine. I think they can do enough to beat Merrill Kelly. I think that's more the way I'm looking at this. And I have to put him on the board. Now, that being said, offensively, this is not where I'm going tonight. But Eflin, I know the LineStar app likes it too. LineStar app likes Eflin and Lucchesi, who we'll get to later on the show. What are your thoughts on Eflin tonight? Is he in play for you, Chris?
I agree. I think he could do enough to get the win. I won't quite go there. I'm going to continue to like Arizona again, 3.5 team implied total. I think they can get to 4 runs today. So like I'll jump on there, but I'm not going to get any Diamondbacks in my lineup. Eflin's a contact guy. Sure, he's been okay here and there. Merrill is somebody to pick on. I think that's the big takeaway for me from this matchup. I think we can, take some shots with maybe Hoskins in there, Bryce Harper. Harper's, I think he's got a little bit of a hit streak going on, still just singles, but nonetheless getting on base. But I think Hoskins is a good, him and Jay Bruce. I think there could be some home runs from the Phillies side of things, but I see what you're saying with Eflin, and I see the value on LineStar, and I see the projection because the Phillies will likely get a W, and that's really all you can ask for on a slate
I'm
like
trolling
this
for the
tonight.
W. Yeah, I think that's all I'm looking for. Now you got Jordan Yamamoto making his debut, coming up from Double-A, which is not something I like to play around with. I know my boy Craig Mish really likes Yamamoto. He thinks he can be a good pitcher, but I don't know. This is a tough sell for me against the Cardinals too. Hitters like Goldschmidt and Ozuna in the middle of that lineup, and Molina, all those guys, professional hitters. I just have a hard time expecting them to. I don't love Mikolas by any stretch of the means. I'm not a Mikolas guy,
No, me neither.
but I don't want to invest on him either because the strikeouts are just not there. So this is another one where it's hard pass, despite there being a discount. I feel like this is a trap tonight where people will either say, "Oh, let me try the kid," and they get burned, or they try Mikolas against the kid and they get burned there too, just because this is not enough. It's just not enough points potentially on the board. That's my problem with it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I thought about Mikolas the same way I thought about Hudson. But he's not as cheap. Like Hudson was just so cheap yesterday. I mean, 7-2 it seems cheap, but the strikeouts really aren't there. 53 and 73 innings. So I'm gonna like St. Louis again on the money line, guys. I think you can jump on them as they're not quite road dogs, but the decent value for a road team heading into Miami.
Yeah, I agree with that. So from a betting perspective, put that there. All right, Mitch Keller's on the mound.
Oh, here we go.
Against Mike Soroka, your boyfriend. So look, we got Soroka at 10-6 on FanDuel, 10-9 on DK. Now Soroka is another one. He's a great cash game play tonight. There's no doubt about that. So I feel very good about him as a fade from the top of Verlander. He has proven it time and time again. Pittsburgh's kind of struggling. Josh Bell has hit a cold streak. So all this conversation about Josh Bell being, Pete Alonso, I think everyone could take a deep breath about that.
Yeah.
All right. He had a really good run there. He was red hot for a while, but do it over 6 months.
Yeah.
He did. Do it over 6 months, and then I'm impressed. I remember Dominic Brown had a great month too. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah. Okay? No, I agree with you. Yeah, you got to.
And I'm not saying Josh Bell he's a better player than that, but the power's always been a question. I'm glad he flashed it for a month. Let's see if it comes back this summer. Let's see if him and the power get together again. So Soroka right now, the Braves are rolling. Acuna continues to be red hot. Freeman went yard yesterday. Donaldson went yard. Markakis went yard. I mean, everybody's just going crazy.
Albies, McCann, they had 4 in like a span of 5.
I had Albies and Acuna in the lineups yesterday, and that was a good look for me for sure. So look, I'm all in the Brave stack tonight, and that means Acuna. It means Freeman, Donaldson, and I'm going with Albies again. I know he's at the bottom, but he's been red hot, and I think you just kind of take that over. And I think part of that reason is because Acuna at the top. So it's almost like that reverse, taking the 9-1-2 kind of thing or 9-1-3. I don't mind doing that, or 8-1-3 in this case. You skip the pitcher. It's worked out fine, and Albies continues to be a good value. Especially on the FanDuel side. He's still just 3-1. So I don't get why you wouldn't.
No, I know. Yeah, he's been heating up. He's been one of the better values contrarian plays in tournaments. I like that strategy a lot. I think we had somebody ask us about tournaments and stacking, and I think you may have mentioned it, or I kind of doubled down on it. The 9-1-3-4, something like that. Albies just to start the run, and you get Acuna and Freeman and JD batting behind him. I think that's great. And yeah, my boyfriend Soroka, he's got a 1.98 ERA and 91 career innings. I mean,
That's pretty good.
he's allowed 1 or 0 runs in 12 of his 15 starts in his career. So yeah, he's absolutely a cash game option tonight.
Well,
And you know
and a
what?
good fade because Verlander's
Yes.
11. He's 11-1. So you're saving $500 on FanDuel on the standalone, and on DK you are saving. Let's see, you're not saving as much.
No.
On DK you can have the debate, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather have Soroka against the Pirates and Mitch Keller. I think that's a much better path to the win as opposed to
Yes.
facing Brandon Woodruff.
It really is, and the
So
Brewers bats for sure. So you know what? I like Mitch Keller. I think he can be a good pitcher. This is just another tough spot for him. After he got lit up in that first
yes.
inning, he turned things around. I think he finished with 7 strikeouts, but now he's got to go and pitch in Atlanta against this red hot Braves team. None of them strike out. They all take their walks.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, here you go. You're almost kind of bringing it up. Is Mitch Keller the complete contrarian off the board play of the night?
he is the complete contrarian off the board because absolutely nobody is going to think about him. No one's going to roster Mitch Keller. And I don't think you should do it
He's
on
just
FanDuel.
7,000 on
despite
DK
5-5.
and
Yeah.
5-5
FanDuel
on
5-5.
I
It's
mean,
like, but you can't have him as your one pitcher. It's just you're really asking for it. There's just other guys that you can have single. Like one guy that we'll get to is that you like and I like as well. I think he's
well,
a
you know
better
what,
option. There's
Chris?
more upside on FanDuel with him.
I'll say this about it, Chris. If Verlander wasn't on the slate tonight, then I would say, well, maybe you could. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that's the scenario there. But because if the best pitcher on the board besides Verlander is Soroka, we all kind of agree that tonight. So if he were to win, that eliminates all the Soroka shares. But the problem is you still have to deal with the potential Verlander shares, and then that makes it trickier.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can look at it.
Tonight.
I mean, if you're going to fade Soroka completely altogether, then you have to paint a picture in your head. Like if you're going to fade him, then you obviously think he gets lit up or he doesn't get the W or maybe Mitch Keller outduels him. And then you go the other way.
No.
And you're just like,
No,
okay, I'm going to go the other way. I'm not going to have any shares.
I'm going to pass on. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
We'll talk about him again. Definitely.
Yeah, we will. I think this is one to watch. I'll tell you what, I'd like to see from him a quality start.
Yes.
I'd like to see him go 6 innings, give up 3 runs, strike out 6 guys. I want him to, if he's competitive against the Braves, that's what you want to take away. But I don't think it's where you want to put your money yet. Jose Barrios at 9.6. They're almost begging you against Tommy Malone at 6.7. That's the FanDuel pricing for those boys tonight. And this one is in Minnesota. Barrios more expensive on DK. He's 10.3. So you got to go pay up to the top of the board. Now, I do love tonight Mitch Garver, Nelson Cruz in the middle of this order, hitting 2-3. Not usually one for catchers, and I don't want to pay for it on DK because he's 5-1. But as a utility bat, Mitch Garver at 3-4 on FanDuel tonight, I am all in, man. That guy's been tremendous. This is a great spot for him against the soft toss and lefty Malone. I love it. He's in the lineup with Nelson Cruz. To me, that's money in the bank, and I'm going to take it. What are your thoughts on Barrios tonight on this slate that's got Soroka and Verlander? Are you picking and choosing with him potentially in cash?
Not really. I may have a share in a tournament or two. I just have a lot of respect for these two teams. I know Seattle has cooled down, but I said off the top, I mean, they both lead the league in home runs, 127 a piece. And we saw yesterday, Edwin is just on a heck of a run. He's like 6 or 7 home runs in June or something silly like that.
And he starts off slow every year.
Does he ever? Yeah.
Every year. I mean, you've seen it enough in your life. It's just, and I don't know why people don't do it. Just don't draft him. Just trade for him May 1st. Start sending out your Edwin Encarnacion share trades.
I wouldn't be
everywhere.
shocked if he got dealt too, and maybe he's in a better environment. I don't know. But he's been fine. He's been absolutely fine. The guy that I like, and there's a lot of guys that I like in this game. I think there could be some home runs. CJ Cron is just killing lefties so far this year. He's 3.6 over on FanDuel, the same price as Nelson Cruz. Garver is you talked about 3.4. So for Cron, a 3.65 average against lefties so far this season. He's got 6 homers. His WOBA is just through the roof at 477 against lefties. He's just crushing them. His hard hit rate is at 48% against lefties compared to 38% against righties. Every time he's faced a lefty, I mean, I'm sure he'll cool off, but I've just noticed over the past couple weeks, every time this guy faces a lefty, it's either a double or a home run. So I got to get him in there against Tommy Malone.
I also love the name Mitch Garver. It sounds like
it does.
It sounds like an 80s cop drama.
I knew you were going there. Yeah, that's what it sounds
Mitch
like to
Garver.
me too.
Mitch Garver goes where other cops refuse.
It's
And
like
that's how
this
he gets the job done.
Super Troopers 3, led by
Yeah, it's Mitch Garver.
Garver. Yeah.
Mitch
And-
Garver. He works in Detroit. Detective Mitch Garver's gonna clean up these streets no matter what. I love it.
Mitch Garver's going to take Tommy Malone deep to left.
You know what was on yesterday? By the way, I was like, I came over from the gym and I was flipping around the TV for a little bit, having some lunch, and then and Demolition Man was on. Oh my god,
Oh,
that is
wow.
a great movie. Can I just take a minute? Like, that is just a great film. It still holds up. It was the scene where they were eating in Taco Bell because all restaurants are Taco Bells now. That is it.
I've only seen that once. I might have to revisit.
You got it. Oh,
I may have to revisit. Yes, I
That's
may
how you
have
go to the bathroom now. I don't know how to use the 3 seashells, but it's great. It's the perfect blend of like fun early 90s action movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. Plus, it actually really is a decent action movie too. On top of that, it's the perfect blend. God bless Wesley Snipes too. More Wesley Snipes.
Yes,
can we get more Wesley Snipes back, please?
Yes.
All right,
more.
so here we go. This is where I'm going to put my money where my mouth is tonight, and it's going to be where Brandon Woodruff is. He's 8-9, okay, and he's taking on Justin Verlander. And I know, but look, he's 7-6 on DK. As my standalone pitcher in FanDuel and tournaments, I'm willing to do it because he's cheaper than the other guys. The ownership's going to be super low. By the way, the ownership on Urado yesterday, 0.2.
What?
Okay? 0.2 in that tournament.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why I cashed it. I do that for sport. I play that tournament now. Oh, I'm like 5 for 5 in it, cashing in it. It's like I don't know, 100,000 entries. I don't know how many. It's a ridiculous amount of entries. And I do it just for my own amusement. And it's become like it's like a quadruple up for me that I play. It's because there's so much strange in there, but not enough smart strange. And Urado, I look at the ownership was 0.2, and Alvarez was like 12%, which I thought would be higher. I was shocked that it wasn't 0.2. Anyway,
that's what you want.
Like,
That's what you want when you get a pitcher.
I was gonna say, I think it was me and some other guy that listens to this show.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure those
100%. Yeah,
it was like Josias or like one of the other guys. Like we know,
it's just so nice when you hit on those low pitchers like that. Like
it was easy. What is that? His 4th quality start in a row, or his 3rd?
Yeah, and he does, yeah, like we said about the ground ball rate, what I noticed again, keeping balls in the ground, that's what you want. But yeah, Woodruff you're going to probably have a similar ownership, maybe not 0.2, because he has been.
Here's the thing.
Real
this is
electric,
the point I'm making. It's not a cash game play, but in the tournaments tonight, right? If you think Brandon Woodruff, this is more me taking a look at Houston right now too, because outside of Bregman, there's nobody really who terrifies me in this lineup. I know Alvarez is great. Don't get me wrong. He's still a kid. I'm looking at Woodruff and I'm looking at those bats that they're bringing. And, Yelich went yard yesterday. Shaw even went yard yesterday. I'm not going to put a lot of the bats in this lineup against Verlander, but Verlander is a human being. And although he's going to strike out guys, I think there's potential for Woodruff to hang with him. I don't need him to get the win here at this price. I need him to have a big strikeout performance. And I think when you look at the bottom of this order with Tony Kemp and Jack Mayfield and Robinson Chirinos and Josh Reddick, I think it's imminently doable. Yes. So for me, Brandon Woodruff is 100% my tournament pitcher of the night. I was all in on Urado yesterday. I'm all in on Woodruff tonight for better or worse. And I just think the ownership's low. The return on investment's good. And I know the ERA is not quite what it is at home, but because he's been actually better at home than on the road, despite that one start where he got blown up. But I think he's good enough, period. And I think it's more just an indictment of where Houston is right now.
Yeah, no, you make good points. And we talked about the Astros lineup. Yeah, they scored runs yesterday, but it wasn't as against a good pitcher like Brandon Woodruff. And with some of these guys out of their lineup, you look at the last 3 weeks and the Astros they're a bottom 10 team offensively, and they got a lot of strikeouts in their lineup now. So yeah, you're right. This is what you got to do in tournaments. This isn't thinking outside the box too much because Woodruff has been great. He's got 90 strikeouts in 74 innings. He's been electric. I mean, he's allowed 4 hits in his last outing. 3 outings ago against the Phillies, he allowed 1 hit. He was great against Atlanta. He was great against Philly again. I mean, wow, he faced Philly twice in the last 5 starts and allowed 2 hits against that team and 1 run. So he can shut down a team like that. He can shut down that bottom of that order. So I think it's a good tournament option. I like the under for sure. It's a total of 8. I could see this being a 1-1 game midway 100%. through, like getting into
it's my favorite under of the night for sure. Yeah. All right, now Danny Duffy I think is going to be a trap tonight too, because people are going to look and say, okay, we got to find more tournament arms, and these are all the other people right, in this tournament with the 150,000 entries or
45% ownership, Danny Duffy, 2% ownership, Woodruff,
yeah,
complete game.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy because yes, Duffy has the ability to do that, but I don't think you want to go there. I just don't. It's just too inconsistent. And I know he's facing Daniel Norris, and you can have some, Mondesi, Merrifield shares on FanDuel, of course, not on DraftKings because they're always too expensive there. But I think, look, this is a night where it's the Twins offense, it's the Braves offense for me. I'm taking those shots there. And it's certainly the Baltimore offense on FanDuel side where they're cheaper. And it's Woodruff because the next guy on this board that is highly touted is Joey Lucchesi. And Joey Lucchesi is good too. The LineStar app loves him tonight with good purpose. His first start against the Giants this year was in San Diego. He was awesome. Second one, the opposite of awesome. This is the third one now. And I like Lucchesi. You know me. I like to use him. We've talked about him on the show. But San Francisco doesn't strike out a ton. So on a night like tonight, I think Lucchesi is another one of these guys where you look at it, he's 9'6". That ain't cheap. He's 7'9" on FanDuel. So on FanDuel, he's cheap. Okay. FanDuel, he's cheap.
But
7'9".
you feel good about him being your one pitcher tonight?
Not as good as I feel about Woodruff.
No.
I'll be honest, and maybe I'm wrong about that. And if I'm wrong, everybody knows I'll show up here on Friday and take myself to task on it. Without a doubt, it's forget it. This is how we roll here.
Yeah,
we like to have fun, but we are always one of the few honest people in this DFS world where, we're not the guys flashing all these lineups. Look at us. We won this and this. Yeah. How much did you lose the last 7 days?
Oh, yeah. It's true.
We don't do that. That's not how we roll.
No.
Okay. They only post. Yeah, exactly. You don't know how much they're in the red still. Just because they won 50K, they might be down 80. Okay. So just keep that in mind. We're here to win you guys money, not to talk about us. But at the same time, I look at this one, man, and I think it makes sense to me. I get it. I don't think it's a bad play. It's not a play I'm doing tonight because of the San Francisco lineup. But Chris, are you going to make a case for it? Because this is open debate here. Yeah, and I think you could see it both ways. So, are you going to have Lucchesi shares tonight?
I might have a couple. Yeah, you make really good points. I just look at him overall. I don't see a ton of strikeouts, and you're right. Don't see a ton of strikeouts in the Giants lineup at 67 and 61. And the fact that he has 12 starts, and in 9 of those outings he's allowed 5 or fewer hits. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Only 3 times he's allowed more than 5 hits in an outing. He relatively, in most of his starts, I mean, he got lit up actually once against the Giants this year in San Fran. I mean, it was he
right. And this one is in San Fran again.
Yeah, he allowed 7 runs. Like this is the third time the Giants will see Lucchesi. So that makes me a little nervous, like just a little bit, that the fact that they were able to beat him around pretty easily.
I like Eflin more. I like Woodruff more. I think I
like Woodruff
is the safest
more.
on the night.
I even like Barrios more than Lucchesi. Woodruff more. Maybe, like I said, I'm gonna have a share of Hess because I'm crazy like that. But
you are crazy like that. But
I think you can get behind in one lineup or two.
You keep confusing me. You had Means last night, Meaney, and you did it because Means is a pretty good pitcher. I own him in a couple of my deeper leagues. He's been excellent. But I think you're I think you're drinking the Kool-Aid. I think you're on a hangover from Means. Yeah,
I might be.
David Hess is not Mean.
I know he's not. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, my old man texted me yesterday. He's like, pretty cool to see Means on the hill. He looks all right too. I'm like, hey, he looks all right, and the Jays look not so good. But yeah, I mean, to go back to Lucchesi for a second, I think you can have a share or two. I wouldn't ignore him if you're playing the late slate. And, you're doing some stuff in the late slate. You want to go Woodruff or Lucchesi. You want to go that way. I think you can get behind it because, again, this Giants lineup it's not fantastic. And Sean Anderson hasn't been good. The Padres should be able to score a couple runs. Fernando Tatis Jr. went yard again last night. He's been great since. I mean, he's only played a handful of games. He's got 8 homers and 7 stolen bases. He looks like he's going to be a player in this league. And Manny Machado is cheap. I think you continue to take the discount on him. 3.9 on DraftKings, and then over on FanDuel he's 3.4. Like, are you kidding me with Manny? You take a shot there.
All right, so here we go. It's that time again to call our shot and go yard. Now, we were 50% yesterday, batting 500. That's good. My boy Yordan Alvarez went yard yesterday, went a little later in the game, but still counts last time I checked. So he was super cheap. He went yard. You can put that one on the board. We continue to just absolutely crush it here. So, Chris Meaney, it's your turn to go first today because I took one for the team and went first yesterday, and I left you Eddie Rosario, who didn't.
You
He
did
should have.
not.
I had him in my lineup, though. I had him in the lineups because I trust you, and I
Yeah.
still do. It hasn't shaken my trust of you at all. So where are you going tonight for some home run?
Okay, well, you better go to Baltimore. I'll leave Baltimore to you.
Oh, I'm going to Baltimore, baby.
that's
You're gonna
what I
love this
thought.
one. I'm
Yeah.
drunk with power after Alvarez yesterday.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Okay, so I mean, I gave a lot of love to CJ Cron off the top there, and the Twins and all the home runs that they've been hitting. So I'm gonna have to double down and back this up with CJ Cron. He's gonna take Tommy Milone deep. Even if he doesn't hit a home run, I feel really good about CJ and just the success he's had against lefties, not only this year, but over the course of his career too. He used to be a platoon guy with the Angels, just going back and forth. He's a full-time player now with Minnesota, and I love the fact that he's just been dead on with lefties so far.
So much value tonight there. We talked about it earlier in the show with Mitch Garver, and Nelson Cruz, Crone, Byron Buxton, even in the bottom. He's had some life in that bat too. Just 3-4 on FanDuel. All these guys are in the mid threes on FanDuel, by the way. They're all 3-4, 3-5, 3-6. Very, very doable tonight, especially if you're fading Verlander. So for me, I am gonna go to Baltimore, and I'm crazy. I'm going absolutely out of my gourd, and I'm gonna go with Jonathan VR. He's gonna go yard at the top of the order. I might even be in first inning because you know how I like to get mine out of the way in the first inning. That seems to be the trend here on the show. First inning, boom, home run. I'm safe with my pick, but I'm going to go with VR. And I'll tell you what, if Santander went yard, it wouldn't shock me too. But that's not. I can't.
You and I are just on the same page. I wrote down 3 guys on my sheet for home run calls, and VR was one of them. And it's amazing that you and I are on the same page with VR out of all the guys that we could pick today. Hoskins was the 3rd. But yeah, I think it's a great call against Edwin Jackson. Get some value. He's one of the better plays overall, Joe, at 3-1 on FanDuel, leading off for Baltimore against Jackson, who just has not been able to put it together.
Well, I mean, if you take the quote from the coach too, why is Jackson pitching again? Because we have no one else.
They have no one else.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's like Richard Gere in that movie when he's screaming, "I've got nowhere else to go." And I love it. I think it's a great situation, a great opportunity there. So Jonathan Villar, I know he's not necessarily your biggest home run hitter in the world, but I think tonight he can get it done against the batting practice pitcher. That is Edwin Jackson. So Chris Meaney, betting lines tonight, where you at?
Okay, well, I think you can touch on the team totals with Oakland and Arizona. I think that they can get to 4 runs over there. Let's get into some of the games at 7. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I really am. I mean, Jackson has 11.9 ERA. This guy's allowed 32 runs in 19 innings. So I'm going to take Baltimore at home, St. Louis on the road. Got to continue to ride the Braves at home with Soroka. I mean, that's money in the bank right there. I think you can pick them by a couple runs. I think you can pick the Twins by a couple runs. And then the under that we talked about in Milwaukee and Houston, you want to get a little bit crazy, you can pick the Brewers on the road if you want. I mean, they're road dogs. They definitely have the potential with Woodruff on the hill. And then I like the Padres on the road. I like the under and the Padres. Get yourself a little bit more value there.
All right, there you have it. So make sure you're getting that LineStar app. Make sure you're having it work for you. And because it's working for us here.
Oh, is it ever?
It's we use it to help prepare for the show too. I always like to do my work first, then go to the LineStar app and check it out and compare. And that's what's good to see, because it's good to see things that you didn't even think about sometimes, or you see things even better sometimes that reaffirm for you. Yeah, that is good. My thought process is correct. The numbers bear that out. That is super helpful. It's a great tool. Make sure you head over to LineStar and go download the app and upgrade as well to the premium product, because it is awesome for $15 a month, man. I mean, forget it. It's money in the bank, especially with football season right around the corner. So speaking of football season, Fantasy Football Black Book 2019, that's out there right now on Amazon. Go get it on paperback or Kindle. That's right. Go get it, baby. Number 1 in fantasy sports yet again. Get ready for fantasy football season. It's on iTunes as well. That'll do it for us. You can follow us on Twitter at Joe Pisapia 17, at Chris Meaney, and of course at LineStar app and LineStar MLB. There's only one thing left to do, Chris, and that's step out of the on-deck circle and into the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and Chris Meaney.